Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing well. I don't know about you, but I felt such a massive shift in the energy once August came in. And I don't know if it's just things that were going on in my personal natal chart, if it was a collective thing or what it was. But for the most part, May, June, and July were extremely heavy months for me. I just had a lot of setbacks, quote setbacks, right? Challenges and just heaviness and lack of motivation. And then literally it's, once August 1st hit, it's like this veil lifted and all of this, things just start accelerating, and I started feeling like myself again, started feeling motivated. And I think a lot of it had to do with the Lionsgate portal opening at the end of July. So I hope you all are feeling this powerful energy in a positive, beautiful way right now. The 8/8 Lionsgate, official day is today, and that's when I'm recording it. And you know, a lot of people, talk about the Lionsgate, and it's like, well, what is the big deal about this, right? And so I found an article. It's actually Elle Australia, ELLE, the magazine. So if you want to look it up, um, that provided kind of just a nice explanation of what exactly the phenomenon is. But it is a cosmic occurrence, and it occurs, this Lionsgate portal occurs when the Leo sun, so that's why we call it Lionsgate, because the sun is in Leo right now. The Leo and the sun aligns with the star Sirius, the Orion belt, and the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. So in astrology, it's believed to open the flow of energy between the spiritual and the physical planes, making it a powerful day for personal growth, transformation, and spiritual awakenings. It's also a powerful time for manifestation. And then, of course, if you look at just the numerology and the symbols with 8/8, being tied to infinity, it's a time where, I guess it makes sense if there's a portal opening to the spiritual realms, that it's a heightened time to allow us to access the infinite part of ourselves, our higher self, our spiritual self, our souls, um, essence, right, where we came from. So, myself personally, this is the time of year. Gosh, it's been 6 years now. August of 2017, right after Lionsgate, was when I went through my full-blown spiritual awakening, Kundalini awakening, all of those things. So this is a time where a lot of that tends to happen for people. And even though you've went through it maybe already, there are multiple levels of spiritual awakening, as we soon find out, right? So it feels like with the fire of Leo season as well, that we really have this opportunity to kind of just launch and shoot for the stars. And so that's why it's important to really sit down and identify what our dreams and goals are, and what it is we want not only the rest of the year to look like, but the next year, the next 5 years, the rest of our lives. So a very powerful time for manifestation, very powerful time to listen to your soul's calling, um, to tap into your authenticity, to embrace your authentic self. Um, if you guys follow me on Instagram or on my Facebook page, I had a very, very profound experience with that on Friday. So that's ushered in a lot more energy for me as well. Just the more you embrace your authenticity and align with your higher self, the more rapidly you start attracting like-minded people, who you become a magnet, I guess, is what I want to say. So, I guess enough about that. I'm just actually coming on my lunch break for my day job, so I want to keep this short. And I felt called. I had certain decks that were speaking to me, that spirit has a message for us. And as you can see, the energy here, I've got the pyramids, and I guess now I know why, because pyramids are fire, they're generators, and it's tied to that ancient Egypt energy that has opened with this portal. So one more statement about this: you might find you're having a lot more vivid dreams lately. You might be having astral experiences, telepathy, um, just a lot of intensity, a lot of fire. I know I've been having that in my heart chakra, my sacral chakra. It's been intense. It's been a little, fingers crossed, subdued today. But I think as the gate was ushering in last night, yesterday, the past couple days, I've definitely been feeling that. So I would suggest maybe getting out and trying to ground yourself, doing some hot yoga, whatever it is you feel that you need to do to try to find balance. So I'm going to start with my latest tarot deck, the Cosmic Tarot, A Journey to Oneness, because this does really represent, right, to me, it's like that image is that portal to the higher realms. So we're just going to see what Spirit wants us to know. What does Spirit want us to know right now? Okay, so we've got a few cards that want to come out. Wow. Okay, so the cards that have come out are the Four of Swords. I'm sorry for the glare there. The sun keeps going in and out, so it's affected my lighting here. The Four Swords, the Lovers, and the Ten of Pentacles. This is beautiful. You know, this is honestly, this is the energy that I was just talking about with how most of my summer has gone. Four Swords is an energy, and this is really what the image looks like. It's this little girl resting on the earth. Four of Swords is about healing after trauma, after heartbreak. And I chose this image specifically because it reminded me of the inner child. And I've, you know, some of the other, you know, my fellow, you know, healers and guides and people that I've spoken with this summer haven't been, you know, I haven't been the only one that's been affected by this. I had a lot of inner child stuff come up this summer, out of nowhere, things I thought I had healed. Validation was a big one. And, you know, I went through a phase, you know, like in May and June of feeling kind of some rejection again, some not being chosen. I know I've talked about that on some of my other videos if you've watched those. And it really forced me to go back and really actually, you know, work with and integrate my inner child and talk to her as if she's a real living entity, which really she is, because she's a part, you know, of the quantum field. She's my past, and the past and the future and the present are all one when you look at it that way. So I think this is Spirit honoring that we have been doing this work and that we've taken this time of rest. In addition, you know, just I've had, you know, just a lot of things come full circle, family dynamics. There's just been this pain, but also growth with some of the experiences that have happened with my family this summer and growing closer. But what's beautiful is the cards that came after, you guys, is the Lovers and the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, these are two of the best cards in the deck. So it's like, this to me is showing like we're coming through, and this is the energy that I'm feeling, coming through this gate, pushing through and leaving behind, you know, this anything too that makes us feel triggered in this way, or, you know, if you're in situations, and this is coming, I guess, for some of you, if you're in situations where you feel like, you know, someone is constantly hurting you, or you're having to constantly heal or soothe yourself, you know, from a situation, you know, that's something that's not in resonance anymore. So some of you, I think, have been, you know, you've already made the decision, or you're making the decision to move through this 8-8 gate, you know, it is definitely a time of shifting where people may decide to end relationships, leave jobs, cut off anything that's toxic and that's no longer serving, so that the things that are in alignment with you, that are meant for you, can come in. The Lovers, of course, is a major arcana, and of course the traditional meaning is, you know, a romantic, cosmic, you know, destined type of relationship, right? But this also, to me, I find this card to be the inner balance, our inner feminine and masculine uniting. And I think after we've done this healing, that we are able to kind of, really find ourselves. And if we haven't done this, right, the portal, I think, is going to kind of push us to look at ways that we're not in alignment and we're not in balance. Sorry, I got a little distracted because one of my cats is acting up in the background, which is typical when I get on these videos. But the work that we've been doing, or, and we're pushed to kind of leave anything behind through the gate that doesn't bring us in alignment with our highest, best self, right? And I think it's having that trust and that faith that if, your soul is kind of just, things aren't resonating, there's toxic friendships, toxic situations, people not showing up for you, it's moving forward, even if like you are your own, partner in that situation, you've got your own back. But what, they're saying, especially for some of you, if you have been wanting to manifest that sacred partnership, I'm getting very strongly, this is the time, for a great time for that to happen, and a great day to actually set out what it is that you want. Ultimately, though, you may need to be fine with, see how you've got your own, the person's here by themselves, but they've got their higher self in alignment, their masculine and feminine balanced. It's like they have everything they need within them. So there's maybe been this healing, I think a lot of us in the collective have done, for moving on from that concept, be it a twin flame, be it, this outcome with a specific person, or really having any person. We've had to go back in and heal those wounds and aspects of ourselves that made us feel that we needed anything or anyone outside of us to be loved, to be valued, to be happy. And I think, Spirit is honoring where we're coming through the gate in this 10 of Pentacles state, which is physically we have everything we need, spiritually we're in alignment with ourselves, and that's when the magic starts happening. We have the Ace of Cups on the bottom. Oh my gosh, these are beautiful cards. Ace of Cups on the bottom, that's a new beginning in love. But notice that I tied it really, cosmically to the element of water. This is a new emotional outlook, a new perspective, right? In my mind, it's connecting to the all. And we have that followed by the Nine of Cups, which is a solo card, right? But I think what I'm seeing here is, staying in that state of receptivity and fulfillment within oneself versus staying and getting in our heads, because we have the Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords here. So if we can do that, if we can go through this gate, and crazy, how there's a gate here, a cosmic gate, moving through this gate, getting out of our head and anxiety, and focusing on, okay, my happiness is, tied to union with another person. I think many of us, I'm sensing that there is a time, though, that this is a time to manifest that coming in. And I'm getting, though, that, this is such a powerful portal to call those things in, but you have to call in the things that you want, and you have to do it clearly. So for some of you, it's like, well, I really would like to have this, but I don't believe it can happen anymore. I don't think there's anybody else. I've just been hurt too many times. I'm not going to have faith in that there's anyone out there for me. I'm just going to keep doing my own thing. But yeah, I'd really like it. I'd like to have somebody come in. If you're in that wishy-washy energy, that's not calling anything in. There's got to be a balance, is what I'm hearing, between calling in what it is that you want and then releasing that attachment to the outcome and having it come in a certain way. But what I'm getting from Spirit is that they're acknowledging the shift, and what they're saying to me is just since the time frame I mentioned, 2017, 2018, 2019 was a time frame when a lot of people in the collective were awakening, and they were so attached to this concept being the end all be all that it was another person, right? And Spirit is saying, you've done so much work to find your own way and to attach to a higher perspective, to let go of that they're saying limited belief, and that there's so much more that's available to us, and that we have rapidly grown during this time. I'm getting very much applause for that, but I'm getting that I'm also hearing them say, like, it's time to step into your power even further. I think people just, there's this fear or this lack of belief, and I still have some sort of disbelief sometimes that I even had an awakening that the connection that we can have to God and the all on our own and by going within, there's still that somewhat of an attachment, I think, to the old ways of being, to just losing yourself in, going out and, the normal like 3D routines, versus realizing that you can tap into a whole nother existence and a whole nother world that's there, but you have to just shift out of those habits, if that makes sense. Yeah, and we've got the Queen of Cups. Oh my God, okay, that's literally what I was just saying. The Queen of Cups is about, this whole vast energy that we can tap into, and that we hold the key to that. We are part of this. We are, we have to be receptive and open to it, and just and tap in. And when I was saying there's a whole nother world, we've got the world right here, right? So they're really urging us now, yes, it's okay to manifest that you want, a physical, that you want this, right? To put that out there, but then dive right back in to your relationship with the divine. Because if you focus on that and like working on raising your vibration and just connecting to the all and flowing, right? That's when the magic happens. Okay, they're wanting me to, let's pull this, Starry Beginnings. Oh, that's the card that wants to come out. That's what I literally just said. Let go of a fixed plan. Allow for spontaneity and growth. That's what I was just saying about the flow. It's like, and it's so much easier said than done, but the more you're just, you can find joy in being alone. No, you're never alone. In tapping into, listening to high vibrational music, to getting out in nature, to, for me, sometimes in hot yoga, I just feel that bliss, that 5D, just, oh my gosh, there's nothing else I'd want in this moment. I'm just so at peace and so relaxed. And when you feel like you don't need another person to be in your presence, to share that, yet, put out there that I'm worth this, I want this, but it's okay. It doesn't have to happen a certain way or with a certain person. Let's see what, actually, let's go. They want to see the energy oracle. Oops. So I'm going to be those. Door to personal healing and happiness. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah, the door to personal healing and happiness. I feel like it's, this is open for you. You've just got to step through it. And you hold the key. That's what they keep saying. You hold the key. And the temple path is here. And Goddess of the Moon. Wow. Which to me, this is, this is connecting to spirit. This is connecting to the divine. And I'm hearing, they're saying, use your body as a temple too. Only putting, and it's not even just, sexual, abstinence, being cognizant of who you share your sacred, your temple with, the foods and the drinks that we put into our body, treat your body like a temple in that way. But this is also your energy field. So anybody that's dragging you down and that's, wishy-washy, flaky, you feel like you have to force it, they don't respond, they don't show up for you, they it's like everything, if it's a struggle, it's not in alignment with your highest good. It should just be, it's there, it comes in, and it all just works and flows. The temple path is what we take, and that's our door to the personal happiness and healing, is to go where the light is, to go where your soul pulls you. And if there's people who don't resonate with you or don't, that's okay. It's nothing against you. You're on a different frequency. And we have Goddess of the Moon. So this is this to me is maybe getting out near the water, doing moon rituals. The new moon in Leo is coming up. I think it's around the 17th. I'm not exactly sure. I'll hopefully do a video for that around then, but that's going to be another very powerful time. Just tapping into the ebbs and flows and feeling the cosmic energy and writing, doing whatever it is your soul calls for you to do as a ritual. There's no right or wrong. But the more you listen to that, the more, you journal, or you're like, I feel like playing with tarot cards today, or I feel like getting some crystals out and doing a grid. I feel like just sitting by the water and listening to it. I feel like doing yoga. That's the goddess energy. That's the flow. And if somebody asks you to do something and you don't really feel like doing it, and you feel like, God, I feel like it's an obligation, and sometimes they maybe have things and, you can't avoid, family things or whatever, but it's okay to say no most of the time. If you're just saying yes to something you really don't want to do, you're forcing. And the more you force stuff, you're in resistance, and then you block the flow. And then you start to get in this dark place where if things aren't flowing properly, you start to lose motivation. You start to lose that spark, because you're in that heavy 3D, I'm just going through the motions, when you should just be flowing with what your soul wants. It's easier said than done, living in a 3D world. You have to still abide by those things sometimes, but as much as you can, go with the flow. And what helps with that too is if you have a lot of tasks to do that you have to get done, take it, day by day, hour by hour. All right, don't think about, I have to get all this stuff done this week. What do I have to do today? Okay, what can I do this hour? And sometimes breaking it down that way, what can wait till tomorrow? That's helpful. All right, let's go to the Sacred Power reading cards. Reflection and energy balance and divine consciousness. Okay, so we've got, that's what I was just saying there about, this is for some of you, you may want to get some chakra clearing done, either by a professional, or you can listen to high vibrational, high frequency music on YouTube that focuses on different chakras. The divine consciousness, this is just, again, tapping into and connecting to that, detaching from the negativity that's all around, and, bashing and social media, and, just, turn that off and tap into nature, tap into your higher self. All right, let's see what reflection says. All right. Stepping away from others is essential to seeing the truth in all situations. The wolf asks you to be cautious of the people around you and to honor your own personal space, thoughts, and feelings. Sometimes you need to separate yourself from the pack in order to gain perspective and move on in a direction that benefits you. Brief solitude will bring honest answers. Being emotionally vulnerable and truly honest with yourself, answering those difficult questions, and asking where you truly want to be in life charges you with powerful realizations and understandings. The wolf signifies the influence of addiction, manipulation, and abuse scenarios. It is important for you to comprehend the root of these patterns and behavior to bring well-being to your mind, body, and spirit. Recognize that these issues may require professional advice. Seek help, and you can rise above the negative impact of your shadow side. Understanding your needs can be difficult if you spend too much time listening to other people. Listening to your instincts builds a relationship of trust with your intuition, senses, and higher self. Right now, the wolf asks you to take time away from others so you can separate your thoughts and feelings from the influence of other people. Be careful in communicating with others or oversharing sensitive information that is important to you and your family. Stay clear of gossip and holding secrets for others. Reassess and evaluate your current situation. What is your source and motivation? Affirmation: I am now willing and able to see the truth in all situations. I accept my vulnerability. It adds strength to my being. Wow, that is not what I was expecting for that card. So I'm glad that I read it. I think, this is talking about exactly what I was saying earlier, that we're at this pivotal point. This Lion's Gate is a time where, you're being encouraged to step through and break free from, anything that isn't in alignment with your highest and greatest good. And as I was saying, that's, toxic relationships. It can be patterns. It can be addictions. A lot of that, I'm getting for some of you is it's fear. It's fear of your own power, fear of your worthiness. You stay stuck in the situations, and change is scary because it's familiar. But, I think for many of you, if this is resonating, you feel the higher calling. You feel your soul pulling you. There's more meant for you. And so this 8/8 portal is the time to push through, and to find that inner balance and to find your inner power, to walk through this gate of darkness, get out of your head. And one way you can do that is sit down and maybe write out or type out, in my wildest dreams, what would I want my life to look like, right? And maybe it's, I have a job that, I'm, doing something that I'm passionate about, and I'm making, XYZ amount of money. Be very specific though. I would love to be in a relationship with a person who has these qualities. I would love to be living in a different place that has, 3 bedrooms instead of 2, or whatever it is, right? Very specific things. And, then sit down and think, well, why, a lot of times, okay, it's like, if you're not happy in your job, maybe you need to take a leap of faith. If there's someone in your life that you want in your life, or who's maybe not in your life and you want them in your life, right? Either somebody already, or somebody you're seeking, it's like, okay, well, why are you afraid? Do you feel you're not worthy? If your fantasy involves creating a life with someone, or creating a life that's different than what you are at right now, right? You have to take action. And a lot of times if you sit down and think, well, why would I not think I could have these things? It's fear. If you're wanting to meet new people, if you're you may have to go out. You can't, a lot of opportunities aren't going to find you at home, right? But I'm getting, what they're saying now more than ever is, it's time to listen to your soul and get out of your head and break free from the fear, and have confidence and know that if your soul is pulling you in a direction, you're meant to do that. And the example I always give you guys, is the fact that I teach Pound Fitness. And a year ago, I was I was just kind of standing up front. I wasn't really co-teaching, it was this other, my friend's job, but she let me stand up front with her to practice, to get comfortable. And I did that for a year. And I remember, so a year ago, I hadn't taught a class, and it was November of last year before I even did a demo on my own. And it was only like 4 songs. And I was absolutely terrified. I was so nervous. And if you'd have told me a year ago that a year later I would have had taught for several months, I would have led 3 of my own Pound and Pours by myself, that I'm going to co-lead a track at Mansfield Reformatory with like 100 people that are going to be there. I mean, I would have never believed that, right? And why? Now, if I just sat down and said, gosh, I do want to feel comfortable enough to teach someday. I do. I just, it was my fear and my lack of confidence, right? But I finally took that leap and I did the demo, and then I just said, I want to teach. The job, it just all fell into place, right? And I just had to pick a date. And finally I said, all right, it's going to be the end of January. I'm doing it, right? Even though I didn't quite feel ready, I just had to say, my soul was like, you're doing this. You're doing this. So my point being, you would be amazed at what your life could look like 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, if you move through your fears and you just take that leap of faith. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I guess not quite as short of a video as I intended, but if you'd like to book your own specific your session to look into your specific situation, that information's down below. The best way to contact me is via email. Please note, I do have limited availability in August and September, and I have no availability in October or early November. So if you've been thinking about booking a reading, the time would be the next couple of months to do that. So I hope you guys have an amazing day and you make the most of this incredible 8/8 Lionsgate energy. Take care.